Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's the Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Thank you for joining us, America. Open phones at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. David is going to start off this hour calling us from Jerusalem, no less, Israel. Hey, David, how are you?
I'm fine, Dave. Thank God. How are you? I know the answer, but how are you?
Better than I deserve, sir. How can I help?
Awesome. Well, first of all, thank you so much for taking the call. We love what you do.
Thank you.
Our 10-year-old daughter has around $46,000 in a family trust. The trust allows distributions to pay for college, but it triggers a capital gains tax whenever that distribution is taken. My dad, her grandfather, has suggested we take a distribution of about $21,000 now, really plus the tax burden. So let's call it, say, 26 or 27. Net of tax would be $21,000 to buy a prepaid college fund from the state of Florida where we're moving back to.
No.
And, okay, no. Even though that guarantees 4 years, no matter how high the costs and tuition go in the future, and no matter what happens to the stock market.
Yeah. What you're guaranteeing is the rate of return on your money is the inflation rate of tuition. Tuition inflation rate for the last 58 years is 7.2%. Average.
Okay. I guess everyone's a little worried about what it's been for the last 8 to 10.
Everyone's a lot of things, but the actual math is that it doesn't go up at all, doesn't go up at all, doesn't go up at all, and then they spike it 1 year. And so everybody goes into drama queen mode. Where you're much better off, I think, to invest in good growth stock mutual funds if you have that option, and in a 529 where it's growing tax-free. And you're going to outpace the growth rate of inflation for tuition.
Okay, so that's the second part of the question. Would you take a distribution now and put that net into a 529 now to grow tax-free?
Yes.
Or just leave it, and not leave where it is to grow tax-deferred?
Right, because tax-deferred obviously is all going to be taxed later. Tax-free is going to be tax-free later. And I'm also making a quick assumption here that the funds in that trust fund probably aren't invested in good growth stock mutual funds.
No, I think they are.
Okay.
We've talked about it.
Okay, good. Well, so so here's what we're going to do then. Let's assume the exact same rates of return in your equation, right?
Yeah.
So you leave it alone, and it grows at we'll call it 11%, okay? It grows at 10, 11%, okay? And 100% of what you take out is taxed. Or you take it out now and you pay a 15% capital gains tax.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I should tell you, most of the principal was family gifts, so it'd only be taxed on the capital gains above the gift amount. Okay.
So so we're not reducing the account as whole by 15%. We're reducing it by maybe 5% or whatever.
Right.
Then it's going to grow from there 100% tax-free. So would we rather have, we'll make up a number, 95% of this account that grows from now until college 100% tax-free at 10 or 11, or would we rather it grow tax-deferred and all of it be taxed, or virtually all of it be taxed, all the growth be taxed when you get there? So the difference is tax on all of that growth versus a 5% cut today, and you're going to come out with the tax-free, much better off.
Got it. Okay. Thanks so much.
You see how I did that?
I do, and the longer it stays in the family trust, the greater percentage of it will end up being capital gains because it's going to keep compounding.
Exactly. And the gretter percentage of it will be taxable.
The longer we go.
Yeah, it'll be taxable. And if we were putting it into an account that became taxed at ordinary income later versus leaving it there in capital gains, we wouldn't do that. We'd leave it in capital gains because that's a lower tax rate.
Right.
But that's not the case. In the case of the 529, you're putting, how much is in the account?
Well, for her, about $46,000 right now.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you're going to have to see with a SmartVestor Pro or somebody to help you select a 529 that will allow that much. You may have to move it in 2 tranches, some 1 year, some this year, some next year, in order to get it all moved. But either way, the principle still stands, that the concept still stands, that you're going to be better off with a tax-free growth than a capital gains growth, assuming exact same rates of return. So, interesting call, man. Thank you. Appreciate you checking in. Hope things are going well there in Israel. I'm ready for you guys to open back up over there so we can come visit again. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Jonathan is with us in Olympia, Washington. Hi, Jonathan. How are you?
I'm doing good, Dave. How about yourself?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
I just had a question for you. My wife and I are on baby step 2. And things have been going pretty good. Over the last year, we paid off about $30,000 in debt.
Way to go.
Thank you. Yeah, the only problem I'm having, I have the Ramsey Plus Every Dollar app going on and everything, but the problem we have is the miscellaneous category, things that we don't buy every month. I'm trying to keep it within the parameters that I've set. It seems like it's almost impossible. I know it's not, but it's hard to plan for what might come up. Like, for instance, we just got a little $20, $30 things, death by 1,000 cuts each day. Like, we just got a puppy and they would get a baby gate for it, and to keep it from going all over the house, $20, $30. Or we ship off a package to a family member and pay the postage for that, another $15, $20. What's the best way to really keep that in check, and where we're not, arguing over it all the time for these things that we don't really know what's going to come up?
How much are you putting in there?
I have it set at $100 a month.
Okay. And so the discussion is, how long you been doing this? How many months?
Since last May, so almost a year.
Okay. So out of a year, how many times has this been a problem? Every month?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
And the problem
is it the sense that one of you thinks the other one is overspending, or have you just simply underfunded this account?
That's kind of what I'm wondering, if maybe I've underfunded. I mean, I try to be really strict, and I have, I've adjusted the budget every month. Like you say, it can change.
Okay. Do you have good records? Do you have good records on, if we want to get real nerdy, on where the money went that came out of that account?
Probably not that great.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Easier now.
So there's 2 options. Okay, there's 2 options. One is lighten it up a little bit, just make it 150, and let's move on. Okay.
Okay.
And there's nothing wrong with that, because you're just recognizing that you have a miscellaneous need that is higher than you've been budgeting for, and we need to have reality in the budget versus mythology. The second thing you could do is you could find a trend that you need a new category that splices off. And you need to put $50 in that new category that keeps showing up in this miscellaneous over and over. And I don't know what that new category is. It could be puppy. I don't know what it is. But, that could be that category is what's draining you dry.
Life is full of firsts. As the first and longest-serving Christian health cost-sharing ministry, CHM has shared medical expenses for its members since 1981. We believe you should have the freedom to focus on your health while being supported by a community of believers, giving you the opportunity to create many more firsts.
Thank you for joining us, America. Our famous $10 sale is back. It's here. You can now learn how to make faster and real progress with your money when you check out our famous $10 sale. You can save up to 60% on over 40 of our best-selling books. And budgeting tools like Debt-Free Degree from Anthony O'Neill, The Proximity Principle from Ken Coleman. Plus, these, of course, make great gifts. You can shop the $10 sale at the online store at RamseySolutions.com. You can get all of my books there at $10, all of Rachel's. I think the new one even is down to $10 now. So check it all out. And, man, there's some deals there. And while you're there, you can register to win our Ramsey Cash giveaway. We're giving away $500 every week and a grand prize of $5,000 cash. Of course, no purchase necessary. Got to be 18 to win. You can enter daily. So text CASH to 33789 if you want to register for that. CASH to 33789. And, of course, RamseySolutions.com on the store. That's where the $10 special is. Shane is in Mobile, Alabama. Hi, Shane. How are you?
Better than I deserve, Dave. How about yourself?
Just the same, sir. How can I help?
Well, my mother is set to receive a settlement from an accident, probably in the sum of maybe the $100,000 range. And, of course, because I've been through your Financial Peace University and stuff like that, I'm the son that she calls for financial advice.
Good.
So, and I told her, I said, let's call Dave and see what Dave has to say, because my mother is 60, my father is 65. He's set to retire this year. And I told her, I said, I just don't want y'all to blow this money. Let's call, see what they say. Maybe they have an ELP local, somewhere around Huntsville that can talk with y'all and, try to steer y'all in the right direction.
Okay. All right. So what's the rest of their financial situation look like?
I don't want to lie to you. So I know they have a house. I'm not sure. I want to say maybe it has 5 or 6 years left on it that they could possibly pay off. Vehicles are paid for, and things of that nature.
So they've been pretty responsible.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, these people aren't acting like they're in Congress or something.
No, sir. No, sir. She just, she's, I will say this, they've kind of helped my little brother out who lives up there near them. And that's what I told her. I said, do what you do. I kind of don't want to, don't call and ask me for something and then get mad when I tell you, what you need to hear, not what you want to hear.
Oh, good for you. Good for you. That's a good word. Well, I think the biggest thing is, people like that are fairly responsible don't do stupid things on purpose. They do them on accident because they did not have a purpose. And so the wisest thing I can tell you is they do need to decide before the money gets here exactly where it's going to go. We're going to put $10,000 on this. We're going to put $8,000 on that. We're going to give the little brother $2,000. We're going to invest it. We're going to pay off the house. I don't know, whatever. Okay. But every one of those dollars, and it doesn't all have to be one place is my point, but every one of those dollars needs an assignment before the money gets here, because if it doesn't get an assignment, that's when the money has a tendency to wander off.
Exactly.
And even with somebody that's responsible because they feel like they hit the lottery. Now, is she okay from the accident? Is everybody okay medically?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. She actually got she had back surgery probably 5 years ago, which had nothing to do with the accident.
Right.
She retired, and like I said, my dad, he just had shoulder surgery 2 weeks ago. And
so you think they've got a little bit of a mortgage, and that's it?
Yes, sir. If I'm not mistaken, that's it. No loans or anything like that. Because
well, I would make sure they had an emergency fund. I'd make sure they had an emergency fund. I would, pay off the house. I would give some of it. I would enjoy some of it, and I would invest some of it.
Okay. That's kind of where I was at, and kind of along my lines, but I just needed your professional opinion on that.
Yeah, the idea that you don't give any of it is a bad idea. I don't care how much. The idea that you don't enjoy any of it and you're like hyper responsible, we're going to invest every penny and we're going to have no fun at all. No, I think you need to have some of the money, and it doesn't have to be a lot. It's just a matter of what feels good. A little bit of, we're just going to have some fun with this money. We're going to give some of this money. We're going to invest some of this money. We're going to pay off the house and make sure we have an emergency fund in place. Those kinds of categories is where I would dump this money. And all of that, of course, is following right down the baby steps. And, but if you can get them to commit on a simple yellow pad exactly where the 100 is going before it gets there, that's a touchdown. You just scored. Because they'll follow through on what they write down on that one little yellow pad, one page. They'll do it. And they'll feel weird if they don't, once they think it through. But if you just chunk it in the checking account, you'll look up and go, well, little brother got half of it, or some stupid butt thing like that. And that's not going to be okay. Navin, I guess, is with us in Cleveland, Ohio. Is it Navin?
It's Nevin.
Nevin. I got it wrong. Sorry about that. Okay, Nevin, how can I help?
Quick question for you. So I work for a family-owned or family-run construction company here in Ohio, and currently I'm driving my personal pickup truck for both personal use, company use, whatever. And long story short, my dad would want me to upgrade to quite a bit of a newer truck. And the company would be paying they would give an allowance of $25,000 for this truck, and anything on top of that, I would have to pay out of pocket. And then that truck would be, I guess I could use it for company use and personal use. And I guess I'm just not sure, what to think about this type of deal. And pretty much the truck would be in the company's name then. Just looking to get some advice on it.
Okay. If the truck's gonna be in the company's name, the company needs to pay for the truck.
Okay, so
you don't pretend like this wasn't your parents. Okay, say you were working for me, and I said, okay, I want you to put in $10,000. I'm gonna put in $25,000, and I'm gonna own the truck.
I would never do it.
Yeah, well, that's dumb. So no, company needs to own the truck. And the company needs to pay for the truck. So if Papa wants you to have a truck, then he needs to pony up the cash.
What if? So I guess I'm a legal partner in the company. What does that change anything if in the next, say, 5 years we'd be looking to take over quite a bit of the company?
If you have controlling, if you own 51% or more, then you're making all the decisions and you are the company.
Okay.
But right now you're not.
Okay.
Until you are that, no. I mean, I own my company, so what I title my cars to, whether I title them to my personal name, one of my companies or one of my other companies, is irrelevant since I own all three. Right? Mm-hmm. It's irrelevant. It's just a titling issue at that point. But this is more of a what is best for you. That's what we're asking here. And no, you don't buy a $35,000 truck and put it in the company name and you put up $10,000 in it. No. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So if they want, what's your truck worth that you're driving?
That's about $5,000 right now.
Okay, well, move up to a $25,000 truck's pretty substantial. So that's enough of a truck.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and that's the other question where
they're writing a check for $25,000 cash, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, they're not signing you up for payments on $25,000.
Either way, if the company buys it, I buy it. Either way, it's a cash deal. It's a debt-free company as well. We do everything with cash. So.
Okay, good. And here's the thing, okay? I grew up in the real estate business, the construction business. I've been around it my whole life. And the idea that you're taking a nice new pickup onto a construction site is pretty absurd. If you've been on construction sites very long, you know the guys with the junkiest pickups are the ones that have the most money, and the ones that look like a dadgum Silverado commercial are broke people with payments.
Yep.
And so
This would be
it's a cash transaction. I got that, but I don't know what we're trying to prove here. $5,000 pickup will do everything on a construction site that a $25,000 pickup will do. Who are we trying to impress? The subs? Give me a break. But if he wants to write a check and you guys think you want to do it, there's nothing wrong with it. As long as he's paying for it and it goes into the company name and he puts up the $25K. Nothing wrong with that. But we don't need $26K. And we certainly don't need $35K with your money being on top. What makes our show unique is that we genuinely care about our listeners. We're intentional about choosing the best advertisers to recommend. Blinds.com is no exception. They offer high-quality window treatments at unbelievable prices, and they make it simple to shop blinds, shades, and interior shutters with easy online ordering, free shipping, and a guaranteed perfect fit. Go to Blinds.com and take advantage of this week's special savings. Thank you for joining us, America. We're here to talk to you about your life and your money. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Brian is with us in Kansas City. Hey, Brian, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. Thank you. So my question today is, basically me and my wife decided that this was going to be the best year to build a house, and we're kind of finding out that's not really true. So we went under contract 2 months ago, gave our contractor the earnest money and the deposit. Haven't really heard a lot back from our contractor. They haven't broken ground yet. And then last week, we got an email that said, due to material prices increasing, they have to raise the price of us, of the materials, and they have to raise the price of the house. So basically, I kind of pushed back on that, went back and forth with them for a little bit, and they said in the contract that there's paragraph 30, they have the right to raise the price based on material. So talked to my mortgage guy, and he had his legal team look at it, and it looks like the only out that we have is if the loan gets denied, they legally have to give us our money back. What do you think about the morality of that? Does that seem like a moral choice that's good? Does it not? Just your thoughts.
That you walk away from the deal?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Not the morality of them raising prices.
No, not the morality of the morality of me walking away from a contract that I agreed to.
Yeah.
That was dumb.
So what is how much did they raise the prices?
3.5%. So it was about $10,000. And the other thing in the email they said is that they can no longer lock down prices with their vendors. So whenever they order, say, lumber for framing the house, whatever the price of lumber is that day is what we'll have to pay. So it looks like the price of the house is going to increase also.
More than what they've already told you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what's the price range of the home? What is the price overall?
The price was $314, and it's about $325 now.
Okay. And what's your household income?
About $90,000.
Okay. Well, to start with, let's just say that what they're telling you is the truth. Lumber is going up rapidly. That's not a lie. And they have the contractual ability to raise the price. And my guess is the market's hot enough that if you don't buy the house, they can sell it to somebody else.
I would agree.
Yeah. So I don't think they're going to be harmed in this situation. But basically, you'd have to get a turn-down letter turning you down for the loan from your mortgage broker?
Yeah, he said that's no problem.
Okay. All right. I don't have an issue with the morality. I mean, the deal has changed. Nobody in this deal anticipated that the deal was going to change. And based on the change, you don't want to be in the deal. You know?
I don't want to be in a house that I feel like I kind of got, the bad end of the stick.
I don't think you're getting the bad end of the stick. I think if you were building a cost plus house, which is how I build mine, meaning I pay the costs and I pay the builder a flat fee to manage the project, you would be absorbing all of the increases. I'm building a commercial building that we break ground on, a conference center here, and our steel prices doubled and we hadn't even broke ground yet. And that's all on me because the contractor just manages the project in a commercial project. They don't. It's not a turnkey deal. They pay them a contractor fee and we pay the materials. And so and steel doubled. And so I've just got to go, well, do I really want to do this? Well, yeah, I'm going to do it. But I told them go and buy the steel and put it out there in the field somewhere so it doesn't double again in the next 18 months while we're screwing around with this thing. But that's the reality. Steel, plywood, lumber packages, glue, wire. There's a shortage of everything because all the factories shut down during COVID and the shortage has driven the price up. And then add to that the real estate market got white hot coming out of COVID in most areas. So I don't think you're being hoodooed. I don't think they're messing you over. If I did, I'd just pull a plug on it in a heartbeat, just on principle. But the other thing is this, at 10 years from today, is this all you're still going to be thinking about if you're living in this house?
I feel like probably, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to eat at you you need to get out of the deal then. Because it's just going to eat at you.
Okay.
But I don't think this guy's a crook.
Okay. Yeah.
I
didn't get that vibe from him either. It's just they're asking us to take their word. Like, hey, we're telling you we don't know what the prices are going to be, but please take our word that we're going to try not to raise the prices. And
yeah, he's not trying to.
That didn't work last time.
Yeah, but I mean, but the difference is unmet expectations. You guys entered into this. Nobody saw this lumber shortage coming. And so, I mean, he's probably built houses 10 years and never faced this one time. And all of a sudden, the stinking lumber package went up, a ton. And that's a major component in a residential home is the lumber package. It's your biggest item on your line items. And so, he's like, crap. Now I got to go deal with a customer who's going to be mad, like I did something wrong, and I didn't do anything wrong. I just got screwed myself by the situation. So, I don't think the guy's a bad guy. He is passing the cost on to you, which he contractually. Nobody ever thought you'd ever activate that little own clause of the contract, but he's able to do that. And but I think the biggest thing is you're just not ever going to be happy here. So you're better off to be done. And, you can sit down with him and tell him that and say, you can either let me go or I'll get a letter on the turn down and then I'll be let go. So he probably doesn't want to build a house for you if you're unhappy the whole time anyway, especially given that he probably has a line around the block of people wanting to buy the house without you. So, and they'll pay whatever the prices are. In most cases, I don't know, but I would suspect Kansas City is like a lot of these other places right now. Zach's in Chicago. Hey, Zach, what's up?
Hey, Dave. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Sure. How can I help?
I am 33 years old. I'm single, and I make about $107 in salary a year. I'm looking to buy my first home. I am pre-approved for a 15-year mortgage at 2.49 with 20% down. The only debt I have is student loans. I have $24,000 in student loan debt. My realtor told me about a program that forgives student loan debt up to 15% of the purchase price of the house, which would be all of my student loan debt for $24,000. But in order to qualify for the program, I would have to take a 30-year mortgage at 3.69%, which is about, even if I pay it off in 15 years, it's going to cost me about $13,000 over the 2.49 for 15 years.
What is the payoff provision? Are you allowed? Is there an early payoff penalty?
There's no prepay penalty.
Well, why not refinance it? Why not refinance it 6 months later?
I have to keep it for 3 years.
Oh, that's a prepayment penalty. Okay, so your
Yeah.
interest on it for 3 years is all you're eating, not for 30.
Yep, not for 30.
I've never heard of this program. This is the wildest butt thing I've ever heard of. I've never heard of a student loan forgiveness thing. But if the deal works exactly like you're outlining it, yeah, for 3 years you pay the higher interest. You got rid of all your student loan and then you refinance at the end of 3 years. I'm doing that. Sure. Weird. Thanks for joining us, America. This is The Ramsey Show. I'm your host, Dave Ramsey. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Mike is in Atlanta. Hey, Mike, welcome to The Ramsey Show. What's up?
Hey, Dave. Thanks for taking my call. Just wanted to ask a question about downsizing my home.
Okay.
So here's the deal. My wife and I were able to purchase a home in 2012 on a short sale for $135,000. And the home value has currently gone up. The tax assessor has it at like $235,000. Zillow is putting it at like $280,000.
Yeah.
We are wondering about now. As a side to this, I also have student loan debt. I just put $22,000 down, paid $22,000 on my student loans. I currently only have $28,000 left on my student loans. So the only debts we have is our mortgage and my student loans. We paid off both cars, paid off her student loans,
Good
all
for
credit
you.
card debt. Everything is paid off.
Way to go, man. You're doing great.
I appreciate it. My wife and I have been working at it really hard.
Yeah. How long have you been working on this?
Well, we purchased the home in
No, how long have you been working on this
2012.
debt?
On the debt, about 10 years now.
Way to go. And what's your household income?
Household income, I bring in 65. She brings I work at home. I work in project specialist. I bring in 65 a year, and my wife brings in 52 a year as a teacher.
Good. Okay. All right. And so you only got 20-something thousand left, and you'll be done. Almost there, huh?
That's well, I mean, also including the mortgage, we have the remaining balance on our mortgage is $114,000.
Yeah.
So
but that's baby
between the
step
20
6. So, but I mean, you're just
Right.
about finished with baby step 2. You're just plowing right through it. You're doing good. How can I help? What's your question?
What I'm thinking about doing is repeating the same thing we did before. We are looking at short sale and pre-foreclosure homes in the area, and we're wondering if we should purchase a pre-foreclosure or short sale home and then sell ours and use the balance to pay off the remainder of our debts.
Well, you only have $20,000 in debt. You got hundreds of thousands in equity.
True.
Okay. And so
what I'm saying is if we were able to purchase the short sale home and sell ours, we'd be able to pay off the mortgage of the new home or potentially be able to pay off the mortgage of the new home and my remaining student loans in one swoop and be completely debt-free.
Well, you'd sell your home is how you get rid of that mortgage, but the other home wouldn't be debt-free, would it?
Well, it depends on what we're able to do.
Yeah.
That's the concern. What we're looking for is something very similar to what we currently have, our current situation.
Yeah,
We
but
bought at
things aren't like they
135,
were
so
in
I'm looking for something
2012.
else.
There's not a lot of
That's
short
true.
sales. Listen, for a short sale to go through, the market has to say nobody's buying this house.
Okay.
For enough to pay off the mortgage. And very few homes are upside down right now because of the increases in value. So is your particular market dormant?
I don't think so. I went online and I was able to find one property that met what we were looking for. It was somewhere around 135, 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath on a basement. which is enough room for my wife and our two boys.
Is there something you dislike about the house you're in?
No, it's not that I dislike my home. We just wanted to figure out the fastest way to run out our debt. And I thought that if we could buy a 135, sell ours around the 250, 280 mark, and use the profits from our home to pay off the original mortgage and the 135 for the new home, or it's close to all of the 135 for the new home.
Wouldn't you be moving down substantially in house even if you got a deal?
We will be moving down into, like, right now my home is a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath on a full basement. 2-car garage. So yes, I would be moving down.
Because the $135,000 purchase on a short sale or foreclosure might be what, $175,000 house, right? If you got a deal.
Right.
Yeah. So you're talking about moving down in order to get debt-free house and everything.
That's exactly what I'm talking about doing.
Okay. Well, don't sell yours until you've got a deal tied up, for sure. But if you can find a deal that both you and your wife like, and it causes you to be 100% debt-free, and you all like that more than you do the house that you're in, meaning you like the idea of being debt-free in a lesser house, I don't have any problem with that. That's not a bad strategy. And then, just save like crazy, and you're probably going to move up in house substantially with no house payment, no student loan payments. You're making $110,000. You ought to be able to pile up some cash, right? And move up in house in the next 3 to 5 years if you were able to pull this off. I think that this is going to be harder than it sounds in your head, because I think the market is so hot that you're not going to find as many foreclosures and short sales as you once did.
Okay.
Because a house, when everything's selling, people sell a house before it goes to foreclosure. When everything's selling, there's no need to short sell it because they sell it.
Right.
And
I figured it wouldn't be as easy as what I'm thinking in my head, which is why I wanted to purchase the home first, to get under contract for the short
so
sale.
If you want to run out the exercise, just have the discipline to not do the deal unless it's the real deal.
Okay.
Because I think this is going to be very tough in this current market. I buy real estate all the time, and I'm not buying any real estate right now. that's not true. I am, but it's unusual situations, and it's not because it's not like it was in 2008 where I bought stuff at a nickel and a 10 and 15 cents on the dollar. It was a wonderful year for buying real estate, but that's not. It's quite the opposite right now in general, especially when you're talking about residential stuff. Hey, Mike, way to go, man. You're doing good. Have the discipline to not get so caught up in the idea that you do a bad deal just to make the idea happen, because then the idea doesn't work anymore. Joe is in New York City. Hi, Joe. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave. How are you?
Better than I deserve, man. What's up?
So, quick question for you. I'm 22 years old. I'm getting married in the fall. Have no debt. My fiance and I both have no debt.
Great.
We have about $20,000 in savings, but most of that is going to be used to pay for the wedding and grad school expenses.
Phenomenal.
So my question is, how much should we be into gazelle mode, at this point? How much can I go out golfing? Can she go shopping? How committed to replenishing that savings should we be? And should I pick up a second job, even though it might take away a little time from the marriage, to help replenish that savings?
To the extent that you do not have a fully funded emergency fund and you don't have grad school funded, you need to run like your gazelle on fire. But if both of those are funded, then we can relax a little bit.
Okay.
But an unfunded emergency fund is inviting problems into your life. That's like sending out an engraved invitation to Murphy. Do you know who Murphy is? The guy that says if it can go wrong, it will, right?
Makes sense.
Yeah, and so, but when you've got an emergency fund, you can chase black cats and stuff. You don't have to worry about it.
So be in gazelle mode until that emergency fund is fully funded.
And grad school, and you got grad school covered, because otherwise grad school is going to turn into debt, right?
Right. Yes, sir. Yeah, we grad school and the wedding, we'll be able to pay for those for both of us in cash.
Phenomenal. What are you guys studying?
I'm studying theology, and she's education.
Awesome. Very cool. Good for you. Well, good. Then, yeah, as long as you're cash flowing grad school and you got your emergency fund in place, then we relax a little bit. But baby steps 1 through 3, that's where gazelles are. And after that, we let our foot off the gas and we just go into marathon mode instead of sprint mode. And you slow down a little bit and start running so you can finish an entire marathon. And that's 4 through 7 at that point. And that's where we're talking about here. So if you're avoiding debt and you have the emergency fund in place, you're paying cash for the wedding, touchdown, baby. Good job. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey guys, this is James, senior producer for The Ramsey Show. Did you know over 18 million people listen to The Ramsey Show every week? And a lot of those people listen on one of our 600 plus radio stations across the country. To find a station near you, head to theramseyshow.com.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Thank you for joining us, America. We're glad you're here. Open phones at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Tricia is with us in Detroit to start off this hour. Hi, Tricia. How are you?
I'm great, sir. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Well, thank you. First of all, I owe you guys a thank you, you and Ken Coleman, because I called last year and got my dream job and making more money and much happier.
Good for you. That's awesome. I'm proud of you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. We are on steps 4, 5, and 6, and I have a question regarding step 6 for pay off the house in conjunction with step 5. So my children are 6, 9, and 12. So obviously the 12-year-old much closer to college. Is it okay, Dave approved, to pay off the house first and then just help them pay cash for college? Or should we really just buckle down and 529 it and all those other things to get them squared away for college?
It's okay to kind of meet in the middle. So how much do you owe on your home?
139. Or yes, 138. I'm sorry, 138.
And your household income is what?
I make 130. My husband makes 90. Math is not my strong suit. No, I'm kidding.
Okay. 220. Okay.
So 220.
So you're approaching $250,000, and you have 6 years to pay off $139,000. That's $20,000 a year. $25,000.
Yeah.
You can do that and fund college making $250,000.
Okay.
If you want to pay it off faster, that's fine. Okay, so here's the thing. Here's the thing. Doing nothing for college, I would not suggest.
Okay.
Because you got to walk in the room and look at those little sets of eyes looking at you, and that's just going to be messing with your brain. And so if you just simply say, all right, here's our plan. We're going to meet with the SmartVestor Pro, and we're going to put $100 a month per kid, $300, $3,600 a year, not spit out of 220, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to get the kids' college fund started. And then we're going to plow in, and we're going to knock out this house in like 2, maybe 3 years.
Yeah.
And then we're going to lean into the 529s harder, and we'll be in a position also to cash flow college.
Okay.
Assuming you do a good job of training your children on how to select a college that is appropriately priced.
Yes. Oh, I mean, being that we're in Michigan, they're a little bit more costly here, but
yeah, but I'm not talking. I'm
it.
not talking about an expensive state school. I'm talking
No.
about $100,000 a year or something like that. You're not going to have that kind of money.
I understand.
And that's okay, by the way. They'll survive, I promise. But I mean, you can go to the University of Michigan on the plan we're talking about without any trouble at all, or Michigan State University, either one. Both great schools.
Either one.
Both have great curriculums, and you can, if they graduate from there, I'll hire them either way. So,
hey, I went to UT. It was very affordable.
Yeah.
University of Texas.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is. And Kelly's in here giving me hook 'em horn signs. So,
That's right.
But and Deloney's not here. He'd be like doing some kind of disco dance right now. But anyway, but even in that case, Michigan is not twice Texas. It might be 50% Texas, but it's not twice. So very affordable, very doable. But we're going to train them like we have to anyway, that they need a job while they're in college, that they need to get really good scores on their ACTs so they can qualify for scholarships, because free money's always free. And on top of that, mom and dad are going to do a good job of saving money. And on top of that, mom and dad are not going to have a mortgage by the time the first one gets there, so we can even cash flow it.
All right. Let
me tell you what you're setting up. Let me give you a future prediction, okay? Just because you kind of got this thing right in front of you, and I want to pan back a few years. Here's what happened at our house. We did what you're talking about, only we weren't using 529s because they didn't exist then. We just had UTMAs, meaning the mutual funds were just in the kids' names. Okay, so we had enough money to pay for our kids' college in each of their names by the time they got ready to go to school. And, of course, we were completely debt-free, and this Ramsey thing was kicking off, okay? It was actually starting to be profitable. And so we cash flowed all three of our kids' college, and the pile of money that was in their mutual funds, we handed to them at graduation to start their lives off.
That's awesome.
And that jumpstarts that generation into being millionaires really quick.
That's right.
So that's what you're really setting up here. So don't overfund the 529, because I think you're going to be able to just put some money in their names that you hand to them after you cash flow their college, because you'll be able to cash flow college. Because, by the way, we're talking about 6 years from now. You're not going to be making $220 anymore. You're going to be making $320.
Yes.
So
more than likely.
Yeah, I mean, your income's going to go up something. I don't know exactly what, but I mean, that's very predictable. So, and so will tuition costs, but you're going to be great. You have really thought this through. You're doing a great job. But doing zero for college while you're in 4, 5, and 6, just do $50 or $100 or something just to start to get the muscle moving, and it kind of allows you to emotionally check the box that I'm not a bad mom or something. You're not, but you see what I'm saying, and it just helps you go that way. Good question. Jason's in Kansas City. Hi, Jason. How can I help?
Hey, Dave. How are you? Thanks for everything that you do. We appreciate it.
Thank you. How can I help?
Hey, well, quick question, mortgage question again here. We have about $500 extra per month, and we're on baby step 6 that we can throw at the mortgage.
Good.
I think I know the answer. Is it better to throw it at the mortgage and work that principal down, or is it better to think about investing that and using the interest and then, 10, 12 years down the road for the amortization, paying it off at that time? Using my money to help me pay that off faster.
Yeah. In the study of millionaires that we did, studying 10,000 millionaires, we found almost zero that did your second plan. Almost all of them did the first plan, just pay off the mortgage.
That's my answer.
Yeah. And so what we're doing here is we're studying skinny people, and whatever skinny people do, if we want to be skinny, we're doing skinny stuff, And that's how it works. And so it's best practices is what we're laying out. And that's how also, as I've talked to, the way I put all these principles together 1,000 years ago when this whole thing just started, 30 years back, Jason, was I talked to old rich people, not young rich people. I'd been him. He was stupid and lost everything. I didn't want his opinion. I talked to old rich people, and the things they told me were boring and didn't even sometimes hardly make sense. but they were just like, get out of debt, stay out of debt, live on less than you make, always be generous, always be living on a plan. You know, it's just common sense, only it's not common anymore. It's like having a superpower. This is The Ramsey Show. Hey folks, I got a great option to help you pay for your education. The Army National Guard. The Army National Guard believes you are the next greatest generation because you have proven that even in adversity, that you have what it takes to succeed. That's why they offer benefits like tuition assistance, career training, and a paycheck to help you avoid debt. No matter what your goals are, the Army National Guard can help you get there. Visit nationalguard.com to find out more. When it comes to making big money or life moves like buying a home or getting married or having a baby, it's likely the last thing on your mind to make sure you have the right insurance. I understand that. Big changes are overwhelming, but what would be even more overwhelming is to find yourself in a situation where you and your family are in the hole because you weren't covered. If not having the time or energy is what's keeping you from getting the right insurance coverage, use one of our endorsed local providers or ELP insurance agents to help. ELPs are independent agents who find you the best coverage at the best price. All you got to do is text the word insurance to 33789 and you'll get a free quote. Doesn't cost a thing. Text insurance to 33789. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Thank you for joining us. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Jeremy is in Columbus, Ohio. Hi, Jeremy. Welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hi, Mr. Ramsey. How are you doing today?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be speaking to you. So my question today is I'm cash flowing my way through flight school, and I have $40,000 in my savings account, and I also have $20,000 in my mutual fund and another $20,000 in my 401k. And my question was, do you think it's wise for me to buy a plane to help me try and save rent money, or should I just continue renting and invest that money in something else? Just trying to get your thoughts on that.
Buy a plane.
Yeah, it would save me. I pay like $120 an hour to rent, like for flight school.
Mm-hmm. And what would the plane cost?
Do it for. I'd buy one for in between $30,000 and $40,000. Okay. But I also didn't.
Did you divide $120 into $30,000 and realize that's a lot of hours?
I did, yeah.
Like there's no break even on that.
Yeah.
However, now the thing about a $30,000 or $40,000 airplane is that that's a plane that's probably not going to lose a lot of value. As a matter of fact, since you're kind of hanging around this stuff all the time, you might actually slip up and buy one way under market and make money on it. Is that possible?
That's what I was thinking as well, yeah.
Yeah.
But I also didn't want too much tototaling up and stuff that goes down in value.
Well, it's not. Yeah, I don't want you to either. But we're not buying a $2 million jet here. We're buying a little single prop that's
exactly just to build something to build out.
Yeah. What's your household income?
I'm single. I'm only 20. I make right around 70 a year.
What's your car worth?
12.
Well, here's the thing. Again, I've got lots of friends that own planes and poke around airports and stuff, and planes are a real weird world, as you know. But that little plane there, if you sneak up, if you could get one that was appraised at 40 and you bought it for 30, I would do it, yeah. But if you get one that's appraised for 30 and you buy it for 30, I wouldn't do that.
I just wasn't sure if I should be putting my money in something else, in mutual funds, in more mutual funds, or if you think I'm okay to invest in something like that.
It could go down in value, and it is still, with your car, less than half your annual income.
Yeah.
And so, let's see. If we put $30,000 in a mutual fund and it made 10%, that'd be $3,000. If you put $30,000 in a plane that's worth $40,000, and you save all of the rental fees, and then you turn around and sell it for $40,000 in a couple of years, and that's possible.
It is, yeah.
Because of the way that market works. But now, again, the thing you've got to do is you have to have the emotional discipline to not get in airplane fever and then just go buy something and pay what it's worth. Because if you pay what it's worth, this is not a good idea. You'd have been better off to put it in mutual funds.
Right, and I would be paying with cash.
I don't care about that.
I was hoping to.
I know that, but I don't care about that. My point is, if you don't buy it under market, $5,000 or $10,000, to where you can turn around and sell it at least what you paid for it later or more, then this is not, the math doesn't work on this. You following me?
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
So you have to steal one.
Yeah.
And otherwise you don't buy it. So I'm putting the money in mutual funds, and then I'm just going to kind of casually wander around a few airports and see if I can sneak up on an airplane that somebody needs to really sell bad. And but if you don't, if you never find one, that's okay. Just pay your rentals and you'll be fine.
Yeah. I was kind of hoping to use my mutual fund money anyways for down payment on a house in the next 5 years.
Then don't do it. That's fine.
So, yeah.
You're the one calling me about buying an airplane, so I don't care. But if there's nothing wrong with that plan either. That's a great plan. And here's the great news: is you're doing everything you're doing with cash. You're actually thinking about it, and you're paying, and you're making money while you're doing all this. So you're not telling me I'm going to go $200,000 in debt to be a pilot, which is a dumb butt idea. Okay. Because let me tell you, as you know, there's something addictive apparently about flying as the pilot. These pilots they're addicted. It's like being on radio. It's addictive. So you got to be careful with it. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Mary is with us in Dallas, Texas. Hi, Mary. How can we help?
Hi. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
All right. My husband and I are starting to look into buying a house in the future sometime, and we've run into a unique situation. He is still on the mortgage for the house that he lived in with his ex-wife. They've been divorced about 4 years, and we discovered that it never made it into the divorce decree that she had to refinance that house. We have talked to her about this. For a while, she was saying, I'll do it. And then we get a call from a lawyer saying she doesn't need to refinance. And now she won't even talk to us about it. And she's saying she doesn't have to refinance. She doesn't want to get him off of there.
She doesn't, because your husband's lawyer was a doofus.
Well, yeah, he didn't even have his own. That's a whole other story.
Oh, he was his own lawyer, which is really proof he was a doofus. Okay.
So we are in a situation now where we were told by a loan officer basically that worst comes to worst, we're going to have to take that as a debt when we apply for the loan.
Yeah, it's a contingent liability for sure. And you can't make her, you don't have a legal grounds to make her refinance it. What's the balance on the loan?
As last I checked, it's about $79,000. So it's not like it's a huge amount, but it's still a debt. And they're saying that.
What is your household income?
It is about $125 a year.
Does she pay the bill on time?
She does. She pays it on time every single month.
Okay. Do you know what the interest rate is?
I do not.
Your husband does. Or he can find out. He's on the mortgage.
If he doesn't.
Well, he can call the mortgage company. He can call them. He's on the mortgage. They can disclose to him all the details on the mortgage. So here's my only thought. You can't make her do it.
No.
It's worth a couple $1,000s to y'all for her to do this. So I would offer to pay her closing costs if she'll refinance. and she gets a better interest rate out of the deal and no closing costs.
So you think it's worth just taking that bullet?
You don't have a choice.
Okay.
You don't have a choice. You can't make her do it.
Right.
Because the doofuses that signed this divorce decree. He gave up ownership in the house but kept the liability. It does happen all the time. It's not that unique. You said earlier unique. It happens all the time because people don't think this through. They don't think they're going to end up where you guys are, and everybody does end up right where you guys are. So you can either accept it as a contingent liability and forget it and not worry about it, or if you want to write a check for $3,000 and bribe her, and she's got a 4% interest rate now. It drops it down to 2 something, and doesn't cost her a dime out of pocket. Maybe then she does want to do it. But make a proposal that's logical, give her a reason to do it to her attorney, and maybe she'll get off a center. Or maybe she'll just be an angry ex-wife and leave you right where you are. I don't know. This is The Ramsey Show. What makes our show unique is that we genuinely care about our listeners. We're intentional about choosing the best advertisers to recommend. Blinds.com is no exception. They offer high-quality window treatments at unbelievable prices, and they make it simple to shop blinds, shades, and interior shutters with easy online ordering, free shipping, and a guaranteed perfect fit. Go to Blinds.com and take advantage of this week's special savings. In the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage, Johan and Shayna are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
We're very good, Dave. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's an honor to have you. Where do you guys live?
We are from Maryland.
In Maryland?
Yes.
All right, cool. And how much debt have you guys paid off?
We paid off $20,000, Dave.
Phenomenal. And how long did this take you?
It took us 11 months.
Good for you. And your range of income during that time?
We started at $60,000 and we ended with $63,000.
Gosh, that's amazing. So what kind of debt was your $20,000?
So $3,000 was a car loan and $17,000 was a credit card.
Okay. All right. So you're just kind of normal. How long you guys been married?
1 year and 4 months today.
All right. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And so right after marriage, you decide to attack this debt. Tell me the story.
So it was October 2019. We were engaged and getting ready to get married in December. And I went to a bakery because I really wanted to buy cinnamon rolls for our young women's discipleship group. I was already $11,000 in credit card debt at that time. And I walked into the store knowing all this, and the cinnamon rolls was $11. And I knew that I had a conflict between what I wanted to do versus what I had resources to do. And so at that moment when I bought the cinnamon rolls, I cried out to God and I said, Lord Jesus, I have a bad relationship with money. So I went home and I looked up online how to reheat the cinnamon rolls. And I found a blog called Stacy at Humorous Homemaking, and she taught me how to reheat the cinnamon rolls. But on the side, she had an article that says, "We live debt-free." And I clicked on that link and I read all about it and I found your plan through her.
Oh my God. I never have gotten anybody through cinnamon rolls before. This is my favorite ever. I love cinnamon rolls.
Me too.
This is great. I like them even more now. This is great. Wow. So way to go. What's the guy's name? Stacy, you said?
Yes, Stacy at Humorous Homemaking.
All right. Way to go, Stacy. Thank you. That's awesome. Very cool. So you called up Johan and said we're gonna do this.
Yes.
What did Johan say?
I just said, okay.
Whatever you want to do, dear.
Yeah.
You learned quick.
I think, yeah, I'm glad she told about the depth. Yeah, because if I didn't know about depth until long time, it will be hard to, spend marriage life, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You don't want to keep secrets.
Yeah.
You need to know what's going on. That's very wise. So was all of this yours then, Shayna, coming into this marriage?
Yes,
Johan
it was.
had none?
That's correct.
So he got you and the debt.
Yes, he did.
And then the two of you, your first order of business is roll up your sleeves and knock it out.
Mm-hmm.
And no more debt. How's it feel to be free?
Amazing.
So did Jesus answer your prayer? Your relationship with money changed?
Absolutely. Yes, he gave us a plan. He knows our hearts. He knows we want to give, and he gave us the plan in order to be able to do that and how to give generously. So we thank you.
Wow, you're incredible. I'm proud of you guys. Very, very well done. What do you tell people the secret to getting out of debt is?
I think we make budget and we planned a lot of things in budget. It's helped a lot, I think. Yeah,
having a game
because
plan.
When we went grocery store, we just buy something what we want, but it's not good for saving money. So
right. Yeah, having a plan and sticking to it.
Yeah, I also think that the key to getting out of debt is your relationship with God, because when we follow what he convicts us to do according to his word, then he just provides everything. And it's like I had to really wrestle with tithing. And when I obeyed God's word, he just gave us money month after month after month in addition to our salary. And it was incredible just to see watching God work through getting out of debt. And not only did he give us the ability to pay off all of our debt, but he also gave us the ability to fully fund our emergency fund and invest 10% of our income in retirement for the year 2020.
Wow.
So God is good.
Wow, you guys, well, you had a plan and you did it. So what is the secret to heating up cinnamon rolls?
I think you have to put them in the oven. I forget the degrees, but I think it's about 20 minutes.
Okay.
350, I think.
All right. My mouth's kind of watering right now. I'm just saying. Well, congratulations, you guys. We're very, very proud of you. We've got a copy of the Legacy Journey book for you, which is my latest, and it'll take you into the next steps of the whole baby steps process and on through completely changing your legacy. You'll enjoy it. It's written from a uniquely Christian perspective. And also, I'm going to give you an extra copy of the Total Money Makeover book so you can give it to someone who needs this help. Because someone's been inspired by you. It's in your life, and this will give you a way to pay it forward. So, excellent. Good job, you guys. I'm so proud of you. Well done. All right, it's Johan and Shayna from Maryland. $20,000 paid off in 11 months, making 60 to 63. Blame it all on the cinnamon rolls. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
We are debt-free.
This is how it's done. Woo! You just never know when you're sharing what's happening in your life, how it's going to show up in someone else's life. Pretty amazing. Find out for yourself why Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer for custom window coverings. They're the sponsor of our question of the day. You'll get free samples, free shipping, and with the new promos they run every month, you'll save even more. Use the promo code Ramsey to get the best possible deal. Robbie's in Michigan. The new monthly child tax credit was recently announced. Is it best to opt in or opt out of this? I'm not aware you could opt out. I think it's just tax law if it comes to play, and if it passed, I missed it. Maybe it did pass, but it may be just something that you've got in Michigan too, Robbie. That may be why I've missed it. But Anyway, if you can opt in and you get a tax credit and there's no expense to you later, it doesn't come back to bite you later, then you would opt in, if you even have the option. Very few tax laws give you the option to opt in or opt out. So honestly, I'm pretty ignorant about what you're asking about, so I think I'm screwing this answer up. But anyway, open phones at 888-825-5225. So the point of the debt-free scream is to let all of you guys know that it does not matter what your obstacles are. It does not matter what your income is. It does not matter what your situation is. There are now thousands of debt-free screams on the YouTube channel. I can promise you one of them is just like you. Very similar to you. And what that proves is that you can not only get out of debt, but you can enjoy the benefits of being out of debt, which is the ability to build wealth, the ability to be outrageously generous, which is tough to do when you're broke people. Turns out that hungry kids are very seldom fed by hungry kids. This is The Ramsey Show. Thanks for joining us, America. Luther is with us in Athens, Georgia. Hi, Luther. Welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hey, thanks so much for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
All right. So I'm in baby step number 2. I only have $8,000 left on my car note, and I'll be debt-free. My situation, though, is pretty much this time last year, I actually got a divorce, and I got sole custody of my now 2-year-old son. And so right now, I'm working a job that's pretty much a dead-end job. I make $24,000. I made $24,000 last year. I started up a business that I'm super passionate about, and it surrounds fatherhood and promoting fatherhood. But right now, I'm at a point to where I'm living at right now, I'm not paying rent. It's just a friend being a friend and helping us out. But they're looking at selling this property, and me being a single parent, I'm not in a good spot to go out on my own without getting this business running. But I've been so afraid to get it going, I haven't even gotten the inventory for it. I've just done the initial startup of it. So I'm wondering, should I focus on carrying the baby steps out all the way to ending my debt, or should I focus on building up this business?
Wow. How old are you?
I'm 28.
You You got family in your area there, or who's helping you with your child?
I've got one aunt who's in the area, and she helps out a lot, probably more than she could probably handle, and I'm so thankful for that. But the friends that are giving me this place, they actually have another place down south. And I know you're really strong against long distance landlording, so I don't want to put them in that position. And I'm super grateful for them helping me out, but I don't want to overstep my welcome.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's good that you put together a sustainable life without free housing that's being given to you out of someone's heart. On the short term, that's a wonderful gift, and it's good for you to accept that gift. On the long term, you're smart to say, or you're wise to say, I want a better plan, because it's not sustainable to live that way. And so, okay, if you were to get the business moving, is there not some way you can go ahead and start now? How much money do you need to start it? Why do you need a bunch of money? Just do it.
I guess I've just been afraid. I've been building up my emergency savings because of me knowing that I only have a limited time here.
Yeah, you don't need to pay any extra on your car right now. You just need to pile up cash. Right. So what do you need to buy to make money in this business?
I need, it's probably about right under $2,000 to actually start making sales, to get inventory in.
Mm-hmm. And how much do you have saved?
$5,000.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so why can't you start it with $1,000?
I can cut back on the products that I want to launch, and I can launch, 2 or 3 instead of 5 or 6.
You launching them online?
Yeah, that would be the plan.
Okay, so someone sees your product online and orders it.
Right.
How long does it take to produce these products if people ordered more than you had in inventory?
It would be about 2 weeks. Would be the from production to getting it in hand and shipping it.
Okay. All right. So if you put on the website delivery in 2 to 3 weeks, that would be telling the truth. And you could buy a limited number of items. In other words, you don't have to have a full stock if you can do a 2-week turnaround, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. Well, let's get that going tonight.
Oh, okay.
I mean, $500 worth will get you enough to get the website going, right? And then anybody that orders something, you reorder every 2 weeks. You use their money to build it from there, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. Can you order one-offs?
I can, but it just
more expensive.
It wouldn't be. Yeah, it would be more expensive.
Yeah.
I'd carry more overhead for them instead of like bulk orders.
No, you'd carry more cost of goods sold.
Or cost. Right.
Yeah. Yeah, and so you can't afford bulk orders, dude. You're broke.
Yeah. Sure.
And you don't want to order bulk in something that you don't even know if it can sell yet.
Correct.
So you want to limit the amount of stuff you throw away when you launch a new product. Because one thing's for sure, launching a new product, you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
You're going to learn some stuff in this process. Believe me, I've done a bunch of what you're talking about doing. And so it's going to go slower than you thought you would. So in the meantime, let's also look for a better job.
Okay. Yeah, I can totally do that.
Yeah, because your job's not much.
Looking for an excuse to do that.
Yeah. I mean, because listen, if you could get a job making 40, that would change your world.
Yeah. Right now, what's kind of holding me back is in the area that I'm in, it's so rural that not a lot of places are really paying that much. But I can definitely start looking out further.
Well, let's try this, okay? If you found a job making $50,000 and it was not in the area that you're in, you would move.
Yeah, I would.
And you could afford to move.
Right.
So let's move to town.
All right. Yeah, I'm good with that.
Because this business, unless you just hit a nerve and the thing just goes zoom, zoom, which very seldom happens. Most things move, they burn slow, they don't burn fast. It takes a little while to get things moving. You adjust the product, you make it a little better, you change the design a little bit, and every time you do it, it sells a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. But very seldom do you just launch a singular thing and it becomes a huge, massive hit. The one thing. That's just very, very unusual in business. And so as you adjust this product and get it to where it's really selling like crazy, it may take you 18 months to 2 years. Meanwhile, you're starving to death and going to end up homeless.
Right.
Yeah, so I want you to get some stable employment under you. Check out Ken Coleman's website. He can help you a bunch with that. I'll send you a copy of his book, The Proximity Principle, to help you begin to think about a different, even if it's a short-term career. So if you work a new job that's a better job that pays double what you're paying now, which is still not an ultra-high paying job by any stretch of the imagination, you give yourself the financial patience to raise your child without worrying about being hungry and to be able to run this business without having to live out of the business for a little while, and it keeps you from making desperate choices in the business, and it'll move you in the right direction. So, hey, man, you got a tough road, but you're a strong guy, and you're going to do this. You're going to figure it out, but because you got a lot on your plate, no question about it. But I think you're going to make it. I think 10 years from now, you're going to look back and go, wow, those were some tough times, and I learned a lot during those times. Our thanks to James Childs, our producer, Kelly Daniel, our associate producer. I am Dave Ramsey, your host. We'll be back. Have a friend or family member that needs a daily dose of Ramsey advice in their life? Let them know about the Ramsey Call of the Day podcast. It's a quick hit of advice about life and money in under 10 minutes. Check out the Ramsey Call of the Day podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Thank you for joining us. Open phones at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Joseph is with us to start off this hour in Puerto Rico. Hi, Joseph. How are you?
I'm doing well, Dave. Thank you so much for taking my call. I appreciate it.
Certainly. How can I help?
All right. About 5 years ago, I'm going to give you kind of a snapshot of who we are and what's going on here so that you can kind of answer my question when I tell you the end of it here. We moved to Puerto Rico about 5 years ago to start a new ministry, and we rented our home. And about 3 years ago, our small group Bible study, we're trying to decide what's our next Bible study going to be. And we're like, we all stink at managing our money. We all give our wives insecurities, and we're just not very good at it. We're living paycheck to paycheck. We're not saving for retirement. So our small group Bible study decided to go through Financial Peace University. So the 8 of us took this course together, and in the last 3 years, we've paid off about $10,000 in debt. We've saved our $1,000 emergency fund, put $25,000 in the bank for our 6 months of emergency, reserves, and started finally investing in retirement. And like I said, we've been renting our home, and about 6 months ago, our landlord came to us and said, "Hey, he moved to Texas about 5 years ago." And when we started renting here, and he came to us and said, "Hey, I want to get out of this house. I want to sell it, but I'm going to give you guys the first option." And so he's like, "I'll just ask for what I owe on it." And we're like, started panicking. We're like, okay, well, we don't have money to buy a house right now because we're just putting all of our money into retirement and trying to save up for that because we're so behind on it. And so we started looking around for another place to rent. The rental market here is totally dried up. There's so many people moving here for the tax benefits in Puerto Rico that rentals are just like astronomically high. And so we're looking back now at purchasing this home. You could sell it for about there's houses in the market right now for about $249, $250, same houses in our neighborhood. He owes $200 on it. And so we don't have the 20% down payment per se saved up, but we have our 6 months fund and we have our about $25,000 between our two not emergency. It's about $25,000 between our two IRAs. And then we have our $10,000 of Biden money that just came in. So we have that money sitting there, and we're planning on using that towards putting our 20% down on the house.
Yeah, even if you don't put down 20%, that's okay on a first home purchase. The only problem is you're going to get to PMI, but it's not a requirement that we give you in Financial Peace University on your first home purchase that you put down 20%, as long as you understand that you're taking out PMI. And so you're getting private mortgage insurance, which just adds to the expense of the house, obviously. So, I would scrape together and add some to the 10. I would not use your emergency fund. I would not use your IRA. But if you can buy this house and put some money with that 10, and or if you back your emergency fund down a little bit and say it's 6 months and we're going to back it down to 3 months, that's okay, because it's still in the 3 to 6 months range. But we're not going to use your emergency fund. We're certainly not cleaning out your IRAs. But I would stop adding to them right now while we work on this. How long have you got to purchase it? How long will he give you?
Well, we actually went into the contract with them, so we're in the contract process.
So why did you call me? You already did your deal.
I guess because I'm nervous about that question of whether or not we should liquidate the IRAs.
No, you shouldn't.
And use all our money, and that's where I was kind of not finding an answer.
Yeah, no, you shouldn't.
I called you guys to kind of find that. So.
No, I've never told someone to liquidate an IRA to buy a house ever. No, you shouldn't. But the $10,000 will be enough. That should get you into it. And anything else you can scratch together between now and closing, how far can you delay the closing, stop your retirement savings, and pile cash on, pile cash on, pile cash on, sell everything in sight, pile cash on to get you a good, strong down payment on top of that 10. That's all fine. And again, if you crank down if you have a 6-month emergency fund and you back it down to 3 months, that's not the end of the world. You may want to beef it up later again, but as long as you're in that 3 to 6 months range. But no, we're not using the whole emergency fund, and I wouldn't use a dime of your retirement account. And then the payment needs to be 1/4 of your take-home pay on a 15-year fixed rate, and you should have known that from going through Financial Peace University. We did teach you that. So hopefully that does fit in with your income in this situation. But it sounds like it's a good buy. And you're at the right place to do it. You're just trying to scrape together some nickels out of the corner of the couch to make it work. That's all. You can pull it off. John's with us in Dallas. Hi, John. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave. What's up?
Better than I deserve, sir.
I advise at a college, and I got in trouble with my bosses because I told some students coming in for advising that I didn't think general studies was a good choice of major. And my bosses are putting pressure on me to promote this degree and all of our degrees equally. And, you talk about useless degrees a lot. I was just curious, what do you think of the general studies degree? And what would you do if you were in my situation? And I think I'm just going to hang up and listen. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate your call. General studies degree assumes that all education is profitable in the marketplace, and we've proven that it's not. Education is important. The more you know, the better life you'll have, and if you know some of the things that the marketplace actually appreciates, then the better income you'll have. But, which is why I read like a maniac still, and I haven't been in college in years. And so adding education, adding knowledge, even if it's just weird knowledge on a hobby you're working on, that still just adds to the quality of your life. And so in that sense, a general studies or a liberal arts degree or whatever you want to call it is fine just for a well-rounded life. But it is not the equivalent of some of the other degree fields. And in terms of what the person can do with their life as a result of it. And so, you'd be much better off not going to college and getting some technology certificates. You make a lot more money. And you'd be much better off studying a field of study that, young people coming out with supply chain logistics degrees now are making $80,000, $90,000 coming out. They're not coming out making that with general studies. And so, if what would I do if I'm in your shoes? Well, it sounds like you're working for an idiot to me. They're asking you to promote things that are as if they're equal when they're not. And they're asking you to go against your integrity. In other words, you have to lie now to students to please your boss. And so it sounds like I'm not working there much longer. I'm going to be doing something else with my life, I guess. I've done that a few times in my life.
Hey folks, I got a great option to help you pay for your education. The Army National Guard. The Army National Guard believes you are the next greatest generation because you have proven that even in adversity, that you have what it takes to succeed. That's why they offer benefits like tuition assistance, career training, and a paycheck to help you avoid debt. No matter what your goals are, the Army National Guard can help you get there. Visit nationalguard.com to find out more.
Have you ever made a dumb decision with zeros on the end because you did not do your research? Yeah, me too. Most people make choices based on feelings or opinions, especially when doing something like buying a house. But when it comes to the real estate market, feelings are not your friends. Facts are your friends. So check your facts. Find out what you can actually afford. Research what's trending in home prices. Talk to a reputable real estate agent in your area. Listen, if you're thinking of selling a home in this crazy market we're in right now, this is not amateur hour. Anybody can sell a house. Yeah, a monkey can sell a house, but they're not necessarily going to get the most for it right now. And some people that get the real estate license, they don't know what they're doing any more than a monkey would know. And so you need a pro in your corner. You need somebody who knows what they're doing. You need to get with one of our real estate ELPs, our endorsed local providers. Never buy a house without the facts. And you got to listen, you need a pro because this is a weird market and you could lose tens of thousands of dollars by someone not knowing how to navigate the craziness that's out there right now. And you really got to have somebody knowing what they're doing right now. So text house to 33789, particularly if you're getting ready to sell a house. Text house to 33789. Paul is with us in McAllen, Texas. Hey, Paul, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
And I love the lead-in music, so I just have a question. I've got kind of a crux in my life right now, and I could use a little advice because it's kind of tricky.
Okay.
So pretty much I live down here. It's an affordable way of life, but I've been in a position in higher education for about 10 plus years, and there's little to no upward mobility. And of course, you look at going on to further your education, it's no guarantee. You might make 10,000 or more, it's not really worth the return on investment. Recently, I was given or possibly given an opportunity to look at moving to Santa Barbara, California to work. I might add also in higher education, but for substantially more. I own a home, which is as I like to say, large garden, small farm operation here where I am. And I really would not like to let it go, but I've been trying to look for opportunities in the job market in this area for a very long time, and I have not found much in the way of upward mobility again. So I'm just wondering, is this potential opportunity in California, even though I realize it is a very high-end, expensive place to live, although it is paradise, is it really worth looking at doing something like that even for just a couple of years to put back into the property here and renting or selling, or even just, it's really just one of those things where I'm trying to get my finances on track, and this came about.
What do you make now?
Oh, about 40.
What would you make
Not
there?
much. About 80 to 85 is the estimate. Of course, I would fight for more, but, that's about the estimate.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, there's no hope of owning real estate in that area unless there was some long-term investment. But, it would be a rental.
How did this lead come about?
Well, it's through a very old friend of mine, very old colleague. And he's in the opportunity and is looking for people that he can trust and know that work hard and work good. So, that's kind of, that's how it came about.
What do you do in higher education?
Well, I help with administering scholarships for students at the moment, but I've also worked in public information, and I've also worked in grant writing, and this would be working in more of an IT kind of project management situation.
Mm-hmm. So you have a PhD in higher ed, or what?
I do not. I have I have 2 bachelor's degrees and an associate degree, and I'm about to finish up a certificate in project management in the next probably 4 weeks.
Who says you have to stay in higher education?
Nobody does, but I have tried. Literally, I have tried. It's like part of my work schedule week. Spend 2 or 3 hours looking for work and apply. And I've just not hit the target for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. I think
it's tough, right?
I think if you had other options, you wouldn't even be looking at this one.
I don't have many options, and that
wasn't what I said. That wasn't what I said. I said if you had 3 or 4 options on the table, I know you told me you didn't have options. But if you had an $80,000 option in Dallas, you wouldn't even be talking about this.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you're cutting out. We had a bit of a cutout there.
Okay, I said if you had an $80,000 option in Dallas, you wouldn't even be talking about this. And so I think that what this has done is it has woken you up, and probably your job hunt technique sucks. And we got to work on that, and let's get you some more options to look at. Because I mean, if you want to do this, there's nothing evil in what you're talking about, but it sounds kind of a little bit desperate. Like it's the only thing out there, and it's just not. That's just not true. That's a scarcity mentality, and it's just not. You just hadn't been able to land the right thing. So what I would tell you is I'm going to send you a copy of Ken Coleman's book, The Proximity Principle. And if you've got degrees in areas outside of higher education and you've been having trouble finding upward mobility in higher education in your area, then let's get outside of higher education. And let's start looking at project management anywhere. You just got a certificate on that. The project management, PM1s, PM2s, are, they're making more than you're making. And they're certainly making more than you're making in Houston, Dallas, San Antonio, Austin for sure. And I didn't even leave your state yet. So, and I'm not against you going to the other place. It just feels like you're considering it because you feel like it's the only possible path. to make more money. And I just don't believe that is the case. So I'm going to send you a copy of the Proximity Principle. I want you to get on Ken Coleman's website. I want you to learn everything he has about hunting for a job, about doing your resume, about the interview techniques, about how to get your foot in the door and get your name out of the pile, because all these applications you're filling out go in a pile with 2,000 other people, and nobody ever sees your app again. You get buried, and you have to do something to differentiate yourself, and Ken can show you how to do that. Go to kencoleman.com, and he can walk you through all of that. So, hey, man, thanks for the call. Folks, when you're facing a decision of any kind, and none of the you've got like two options and neither one of them are great, or it feels like it's very, very limited or very trapped, and we all get kind of fatalistic about it. It's like, oh, well, that's the only thing. It's almost never the only thing. And so what I've had to learn to do is the more options I have, two things occur. No matter what it is you're looking at, if you're looking at buying a car, if you're looking at a career change, if you're looking for a wife, I mean, the more options you have, the more power you have, and the more likely you are to make the right decision. When you only have two options and you feel trapped, very seldom is either one of those the right option. And so you need more options to give you power, to not feel trapped, and to make a better decision in every case. And there's no difference with him. This is The Ramsey Show. Thank you for joining us, America. Jonathan is in Lubbock, Texas. Hey, Jonathan, welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave, how are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Hey, so I'm faced with kind of a unique situation. I've been pretty blessed with some amazing parents that have been great role models in all areas of life, especially financially, and they taught financial peace to Sunday schools and even made me read Financial Peace, which I didn't enjoy at the time, but I'm super grateful now. But so I'm 19 years old. I just graduated high school. I'm about to finish up my first year at a community college, and I've been able to go completely free based off scholarships, and even some going back towards me for getting it put back for later and leftovers. And my situation kind of surrounds. I'm planning to continue and get a bachelor's degree, and I'm even planning past that and want to get a law degree in the future. Yet through reading and having great mentors and all that I've learned through reading about money, and especially through y'all's programs, I know that the time prudence of saving for retirement. So my question stems, I have enough money saved, my family does, to be able to fully pay for all the way up to my bachelor's degree. But I have siblings too, and so I understand my law school will be kind of a cash flows system when it gets to that point. But my question is, I've been putting money into my Roth IRA that I set up last year, and contributing as much as I can, but financially thinking smartly about paying for other things. And I've been sitting down with my parents talking about that. But my question is, should I continue to contribute to my retirement savings while I have this desire to go to a graduate school that I'm not entirely sure I'll have funds for up front.
No, you should not.
Okay.
You should stop saving for retirement, and you should put all your money aside to complete the education track that you're on. And the reason is this. What you can make in the marketplace extra as a result of these degrees is a lot more than you will make on a mutual fund.
Right.
Education that is usable in the marketplace to increase your income is always more valuable than a mutual fund. Now, education that's left-handed puppetry is not. I mean, you get a degree in underwater BB stacking or something, it's of no value, right? And people get these stupid butt degrees. But if you're going to go get a law degree and then you're going to use the law degree to create an incredible income as an attorney and get on a really strong career path of law, whatever that is, in whatever version of the law it is. But, I mean, you're not going to go to work for $30,000 a year for the state doing nothing. I'm talking about you're going to go out there and you're going to use the law degree to make a couple of hundred or more a year as a result of being an attorney and developing a career in that area. That is going to give you a better mathematical return on your investment than a mutual fund will. And you have plenty of time to do your investing. I don't want you to put it off forever, but your education with the track you're on, Jonathan, and the kind of a young man you are is more valuable the way you're laying it out than a mutual fund is. So no, I would stop and pile up cash and let's get this law degree and let's pay cash for it, and a big old pile of cash. And if you have a bunch of cash left over because you piled up such a big pile when you graduate, you got a big old pile left, oh well, we'll try to figure it out, you know. Lane is in Lincoln, Nebraska. Hi, Lane. How are you?
Doing well, Dave. Hey, first of all, let me just say thanks so much for all you and your team do. It's an honor to speak with you.
Honor to speak with you, sir. God bless you. How can we help?
So, hey, last year, the year of the dumpster fire, me and my wife were actually able to become debt-free, finish baby step 2, first time in the 8 years of our marriage, which was awesome.
Great.
And then I guess you could say partially thanks to government stimulus, if that's possible. We sped through baby step 3 and were able to upgrade an old car. So we found ourselves at steps 4, 5, and 6 quicker than we expected.
Wonderful.
But that's a huge blessing.
Wonderful.
I am a pastor, and currently we live in the church parsonage.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very nice home. We're thankful for it. I know that's not always the case. But my question is kind of, whether we love the church we're at, but whether we're here for 5 years, 10 years, or till I retire, we realize that eventually we will have to buy a home. And when that time comes, we don't want to be starting from nothing at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is, where should we be saving money for this future home?
I would start paying a small house payment into
Mm-hmm.
a mutual fund. And then that's
Into
just
a mutual fund?
Yeah, that's just your home purchase fund later. It could be sooner, it could be later, it could be much later. I don't know how long you're going to be in the parsonage either. But having worked with pastors for 30 years, if you just fast forward this out 30 years from today, and you never save money for a house, and then your pastoral career, you go into retirement, you don't have the parsonage anymore, you don't have a house.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a problem. And so, I don't know whether this is going to, maybe you move 5 years from now to a different position and they don't have a parsonage, then you would be ready to buy then. Or I don't know whether it's 40 years from today and this parsonage is over, and you spend your whole career at that church, which either one's fine with me. I'm open to whatever God's got for you. But I do know that if you save money, it's going to keep you in a position of, to be able to buy a house. It's that simple. So yeah, just start, pretend your baby step 6 is really there as if you had a mortgage, but instead of paying off the mortgage, you're building up cash to buy the house. And so whatever you would put on to baby step 6, and you might want to just set up a mutual fund with your SmartVestor Pro, or even just an index fund would be fine, but just automatically draft it out of your checking account each month, a small house payment, depending on what your household income is. But I mean, if you start putting $1,000 a month aside and you do that for a decade, you're going to have some serious money in that account to buy a house, maybe even pay cash for a house. So put you in really good shape. Zach is with us in New Jersey. Hi, Zach. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Thank you for having me. How are you?
Better than I deserve. How can I help?
So I'm 28 years old, married with a kid on her leg. And I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos for the past month or two. And getting debt free is definitely at the top of my priority list now.
Good.
My wife and I own 2 cars. One of them is paid off. The other one is $30,000 in loans. In total, we have $120,000. The other $90,000 is student loans. And we're getting to the point where her car has too many miles because she drives anywhere from 40 to 60,000 miles a year. My solution to that was that she would take my car, which has 10,000 miles. I would take the other car, and she would drive this until we needed another car or it's paid off. However, since she spends so much time in a vehicle every year, she's pretty particular about what she wants. And so she really wants to trade the car that we have now that is $30,000 in debt and buy something that's $40,000 to $45,000 in debt. And I kind of had worked out a plan with her where we can pay off $15,000 in 6 months. And at that point, since the payment would be gone from the other loan, we would work ourselves into potentially buying that car.
No,
However,
not a chance,
that
dude.
doesn't really
Listen,
fit, right?
listen, I don't give a crap what she's particular about. You guys are broke. You are deeply in debt up to your eyeballs. And now you're talking about buying a freaking $45,000 car and put 60,000 miles a year on it and destroy its value? Zach, that's dumber than a rock, man. Absolutely not. Not a chance. Our scripture of the day, Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your paths. Benjamin Franklin said, an investment in knowledge pays the best interest. Mary is with us in Dallas, Texas. Hi, Mary. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Thank you, Dave. I just have a question about yearly home insurance that you purchase.
Mm-hmm.
I own a home. It's totally paid off. I have no debt. I have savings. And I was just wondering, is it prudent to, and I just made a claim, and we had hail, and they're going to be replacing the roof for me. So that will hopefully last for another 20 years or so. So I just wondered if that was a prudent idea.
If what? Keeping homeowners insurance in place?
Not buying the homeowners insurance.
No, it is not prudent. I would buy homeowners insurance.
Okay.
I have homeowners insurance on my home, and I can write a check and replace it tomorrow if it burns down, but it is a good buy to insure it. Okay. All of my properties that I own, I have insurance on, and I have the ability to replace all of them financially if something happened without that. But it's good risk management to transfer the risk of a fire or a tornado or another catastrophic event. Now, what I would do is I would raise your deductible up good and high. So ask your homeowners. I do two things. One is I'd shop your homeowners insurance. If you haven't shopped it with an independent insurance agent, you can go to DaveRamsey.com and click ELP for insurance. They'll shop a bunch of different companies and get you the best price. Number one, do that. Okay? If you haven't, because you may get a much better price. Number two, get the price on the deductible, and I'll teach you how to analyze that. What is your current deductible?
I think it's 2%.
2%? That's unusual.
Yeah.
It's usually $500 or $1,000 or $5,000 or.
No, it's a percentage of the value of the home that they have insured.
Interesting. So how much do they have insured?
They have it insured for $249,000.
Okay, so you have a $5,000 deductible.
Basically, yeah.
Approximately. Okay, that's a very high deductible. So you probably aren't going to. You're probably not going to gain anything by raising it from 5 to 10, but you could ask.
Okay.
Because I'm not worried about a $10,000 loss for you. I'm worried about a $250,000 loss.
Right.
And so if you can get a substantially cheaper price by going from 2% to 4% with your company, or by getting a $5,000 deductible with somebody else and a $10,000 deductible with somebody else. See, here's the way you look at it. What are you paying in premiums now?
I think it's, if I'm not mistaken, it's around $1,200 a year.
Okay. So let's pretend we went from $5,000 deductible to $10,000 deductible, 2% to 4%. Okay. You're taking an extra $5,000 worth of risk. And if they drop the price $100 for you doing that from $1,200 to $1,100, you can divide that 100 into that 5,000, and you figure out real quickly that that's 50 months. Probably not doing that one. But if they drop the price $200 or $300 for you to take an extra $5,000 risk, you don't have that many claims on this. Then you would, I would take. I run really high deductibles on all my stuff. Because again, it's not the first 5 or 10,000 that I'm worried about. It's the first 250,000, the back 250,000. Nathan's with us in Universal City, Texas. Hi, Nathan. How are you?
Doing good, sir. Yourself?
Better than I deserve. How can I help?
Yes, sir. So my question is it wise to share a room with my girlfriend? So my company is sending me on a trip to Maui. I won Summit this year. So they're sending me for a week, and I get to take one other person with me. I'd like to take my girlfriend with me, but I don't know if it's a wise decision to lodge in the same bedroom.
Okay. Are you all already living together, sleeping together?
No, sir.
Okay. So this will be violating that, right?
Right. We're trying to abstain until marriage. Yes, sir.
Okay. And how old are you, sir?
25.
Okay. I mean, you certainly can do whatever you want, but you're asking me, which is a mistake, because I'll tell you. So I would get a separate. I'd get a separate bedroom, because if I'm 25 years old, I don't have that much willpower.
Right.
I mean, really, you're just asking for a situation that apparently, based on you're telling me what your values are, that you're going to regret. You're just asking for trouble.
Right.
On top of that, I don't really care how people think about the way it looks, but I care about the way something looks for my wife. And I don't want to compromise her reputation. And I'm going to guess and say, if you're concerned about this kind of thing, like I would be, we share that value system, then I would be concerned about what people thought about my wife.
That's a true statement. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, I mean, like her dad.
Right. Mainly her dad, honestly.
Yeah. Because, all of us guys are going, yeah, you might pull that off, but you probably won't. And why put yourself through that? Oh, my gosh. So, no, as a matter of reputation of the lady that you love, we'll be very old-fashioned here. We're going to protect her reputation to her dad, to her friends, because you've made this statement that you're going to wait until marriage. Then let's put a situation in place that leaves no one questioning that you did, much less having to have that kind of self-discipline, which at 25, there was no chance. Oh, so Nathan, you're a good young man. You have a good heart. We need more people like you in America today. There are so few of you. Oh, thank you, sir. I'm honored to speak with you today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Yes, there are people out here like me that are dinosaurs that actually believe that we're supposed to be married before we engage in sexual activity like that. Yeah, I know it's hard to believe for some of you. You can't grasp the concept, but it's a part of my Christian faith. I actually do believe that. I wasn't always a Christian, and my faith has informed me on that, and it's not a question in my mind, but it seems to be a foreign concept in a culture that has become so toxic, a foreign concept. So, does my old heart, my old dinosaur heart, good to talk to a Nathan that is actually concerned, gallant young gentleman concerned about his fiance and actually cares what her dad thinks. What a man of honor. Oh, don't we need more men of honor and more women of honor, men of virtue, women of virtue. They're getting more and more rare. It's almost like having a superpower nowadays. So, well, thank you, sir. You did my heart good today. I appreciate talking to you. That about puts this particular hour of The Ramsey Show in the books. James Childs is our producer. Kelly Daniel is our associate producer and phone screener. First time I've done a show by myself in a long time. Feel kind of lonely in here. That puts this hour of the show in the books. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.
Hey, it's Kelly, associate producer for The Ramsey Show. This episode is over, but if you heard about an event, product, or service and didn't have a chance to write it down, don't worry. We list everything you've heard about during this episode in the podcast show notes section or head to theramseyshow.com. Thanks for listening.